This is one of those podcasts that we did not prep for or have anything to talk about besides, I feel like we talk about the same like 5 things because it's been like in the news recently, like Tom Brady's divorce, Elon Musk buying Twitter, interest rates, bam. Are we going into a recession, Riley?
Yeah, I think we're in it. I think it's definitely just like we're like in it. I don't know if like we're initial like I don't know what that means.
Well, we've officially hit it because like GDP was down for like 2 quarters in a row, right? Isn't that the definition of a recession?
Yeah.
So we're technically in it.
Technically,
Is it going to get worse or?
Yeah, technically we're in it. I don't know if like what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if we have like experienced the ramifications of it fully.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's unemployment for some people or whatever that might be. But great time to start a business. So
it's all uphill from here.
I mean, really, if you think about it, at some point, it's like, all right, everyone's at rock bottom right now, in a sense. So it's like, there's nowhere to go but up. So you might as well go up.
As long as you're positioned right. I don't know. This whole recession thing is super, super fascinating to me because in 2008, like I lived at home, I was in high school, and how I experienced like the 2008 crash, honestly, my parents lost their house and we had to move into a rental in high school. But all I gave a shit about is playing baseball and sports and getting good grades. So it didn't even like impact me in ways because I was still under a household in ways. Yeah, it impacted my parents greatly. Like in high school, my stepmom had to sell her car. Like we had one car for the family and we lived in a rental.
That's crazy.
And I was like, well, looking back on it, I'm like, whoa. But when I was in it, I was like, oh, sweet, dinner's made when I got home from baseball practice. That's all that mattered.
I was also.
You were like 2 years old, I think, right?
No, I was in, I think like first grade, kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah, so you have
and we lost our house
context.
And so then we had to like move in with my grandparents for a couple months, and I was like, sweet.
You're like, yes, grandma's house, 24/7.
We were there for like 2 months, and then we like moved into a rental. But yeah, it was crazy, and I was like 6.
Did both your parents get laid off in the medical field at that time? Do you remember?
I don't really know details. Like honestly, I haven't even talked to them much about it like till this day, so I don't know the details.
You should ask some questions because I think it'll give you some good context as to like what they navigated. Because like I hear about it now, and like my dad credit card hacked for like 5 years after that, where he just opened new accounts and pay them off like before like the interest or whatnot was due. So it was like,
dude,
he was opening multiple accounts. I don't think they filed bankruptcy, but like short sold their house. Like, whew.
I want to get into credit hacking for sure.
Why?
It's just crazy what you can do. Like,
but you got to do it full time to get really good at it.
You got to know,
Just open a Southwest account. You can fly across the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you hear one time? This is a podcast of just random thoughts today, I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think Delta released, it's either Delta or American Airlines, like you could buy a unlimited plane ticket that you could ride it anywhere in the world, and it was like 15 years ago, it was like $70,000 for a lifetime pass to fly anywhere. And I was like, that's kind of interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be worth it.
I feel like, what do you think? I mean, $70,000 for a lifetime of flying. I think so,
If I had $70,000 to spend on that, I would be immediate.
Right? We should look into it. I think if you reach out to some of these airlines, they'll sell you a lifetime pass.
Interesting. Yeah, because think about it. In your whole life, $70,000 will go quick when you're buying airplane tickets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I've heard that you can do that. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if we're going to go into a recession or not. I mean, we're in one, but we're headed towards, I think it's going to be a little dark and scary next year.
Yeah. I see so many different things. I see a lot of like wealthy, influential people that are like, oh, it's going to be pretty calm, yada, yada. And then there's people like, this is going to be terrible, worse than '08, blah, blah. So it's just like, I see so many different things. But the one main thing that I realize is it affects everybody so differently. Like
100%.
Middle class worker, someone with a minimum wage job in college, or like someone that's wealthy at 1%. Like it just affects everybody so differently, and it's just
like what happens to the dude making $17 an hour at McDonald's?
Honestly,
people still buy fast food.
I was like, they keep their job. It's the people that are like making like
just overexposed
100 to like 150K a year. That's like companies are like, all right, we can. We don't
We can
need
cut that
that.
job. And what? Apple just announced
I
freezes
saw that.
for all of 2023 on like new hires. I'm like, ooh, they must know something we don't.
Yeah, 2023 will be interesting, but I'm honestly just really excited because like if I'm excited because I see it as an opportunity. Like
I
if
100%.
nobody sees it as an opportunity, it's like, and I do, like that's probably a good thing. Like
And there's still like transactions and money still flows. Like that's what I don't get is like people still will be spending money. Like you can't just not spend
it
money in
was. I
ways.
was
I
talking
mean,
about.
some people that could lose jobs, things like that. I don't know. It's interesting.
You would be surprised though. Like I was talking to my buddy about like Airbnbs and like talking about through the recession. And I
I feel
was like,
like those are
honestly,
screwed.
they're screwed. But I was like, honestly, like you would like more people are gonna still travel and spend money like than you would think, and like
Right.
go to concerts and like life goes on. In other words, a lot more people. Some people make more stupid decisions than others, but it's to each their own.
I know. I wonder if there's like some event that's going to take place that's going to really like draw this thing down even more so. Like a huge company going bankrupt where it's like, wow, they're just way over leveraged and they just totally screwed themselves.
Yeah, Uber is a little over leveraged.
Yeah, I could see that.
Although my position's up like 12% in the last 2 days, so.
Why do you invest in companies that deliver food to people? Uber?
Well, Uber's like it was like a company that like really changed the game in transportation, and
I agree.
like that was like an industry like flop.
But where does Uber go from here in 10 years?
I mean,
Because how much more market share could they take? How much more profitable could they become?
what is it? Was there a video about Uber and it was like some crazy idea? It was like
Like what they could do next?
yeah, and I can't remember what it was, but
I
I was
feel like a lot of the value in that company of Uber is tied to the software.
yeah.
So like logistics,
Well,
like how else could like what other could you like could Uber overlay the whole airline industry?
that's what I was gonna say. Next, they go to airlines and
I know. It's
so
interesting.
it's interesting. I feel like I'm pretty bullish on Uber for sure, but I was talking to Camille yesterday, and he was informing me and educating me because he's in a finance bro period of college.
Finance, bro. He's taking like finance 201.
Yeah, so he was like telling me about like how the intrinsic value is like overvalued to what the current worth actually is.
Yeah.
And it took me like 30 minutes to understand that, but I finally understood it, what that meant. But there's a lot of companies like that though, and it's just the market decides. Like there's
100%.
It's just crazy. So.
It brings up a thought. I watched a video. Do you know Chamath Palihapitiya? He was like one of the top 3 founders of Facebook and then left after 10 years because he's like, yeah, Zucks isn't doing it and it's going to go downhill. This was like 10 years ago. And now he's like a multi-billion-dollar dude. But he thinks that Elon closed on Twitter at $44 billion. And that was like based on valuation, cheap. Because of even what Facebook or Meta trades at today, like if you look at the multiple based off of their monthly active users, so their monthly active, their MAL number, it was something like each monthly active user was worth like $186 per monthly active user at Meta right now, and he bought Twitter at the monthly active users at like $127 per monthly active user. So if you look at like what Facebook is in Meta is able to generate based on that monthly active user, Elon got Twitter cheap. And then you can always go back to like Facebook bought Instagram for like 200 million and it's worth billions now.
Or like when Disney
interesting.
bought Star Wars, like they've totally exploded that name.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Or whoever bought bodybuilding, there's different things that happen to companies, and it just depends who takes it over and what they do to innovate.
I know.
Or
like
the lack of.
DeLuca in town did so well with bodybuilding.com. And I think what that speaks volumes to, and Gary says this all the time, like bet on the jockey.
Yep.
Like who's the dude running the ship? And then some huge conglomerate comes and buys bodybuilding.com from him for $100 million. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, they're like filing bankruptcy, generating no revenue because there's no culture. They don't have a leader. that's like out there in the public representing what that company has to say for. But
That's
it's
why I
interesting.
think like Ben Francis at Gymshark does that really well. He's so
Yes. They
young
just
too.
opened their first location.
Really? Like
Physical
storefront,
retail storefront in,
London.
I think so, in London. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see him next year again.
I
Do
know.
a little recap.
You know what? Can we post that video today of the interview we did with Ben? And
I posted it 2 weeks ago though with
can
the
we
VCon recap.
can we
I could like.
repost it again and say, hey, congrats on your
Oh
new.
yes, yeah,
Yes, good idea.
for sure.
We got to ride that. You know what that brings me to is some of the tips and techniques of marketing is, and I learned this at the Tony Robbins conference I went to, newsjacking, like taking what's current and like not putting your spin on it, but like relaying, just staying relevant to what's really happening in the world, you know?
Yeah, and a big thing of like, a big thing we learned at VCon was confidence is key. In
Yeah.
just like we were like, all right, we want to do an interview with so and so. And we're like, how are we gonna do that? And we're like, this room looks kind of private, whatever. Like we walk in there, like
I
maybe,
still can't believe like how much success we had at VCon 1.
maybe not supposed to be in there. And then like we're there for 2 hours, sit down with Tom Bilyeu, and like we're just chilling, and it's just like, all right.
All right.
But it's like marketing is a creative business. I mean, you have to get creative and do things differently than everyone else. And you would think it's hard, but I mean, honestly, really, it's not. It just takes a young, fresh mind, in my opinion.
And also paying attention to the trends.
Yeah, so it's like, if everyone's like, oh, let's do, if everyone's making a 2-minute brand message video, and every brand's like, let's do that. It's like, all right, let's not do that. Let's do something different.
Yeah, it's getting a little saturated.
And it's just coming up with like interesting ideas, just like being very creative. And
Like, what do you think about this idea? I've been thinking about asking you recently to make QR codes to put on my listings, like massive fucking QR codes, like 4x4 big
Well, you
old
see what
signs.
Ammon Bundy did with the "Don't Vote" signs with the QR codes?
Oh yes, those are for him. I was gonna
Well, 'cause-
scan them, and then I was like, no, because it's gonna like, I'm just gonna be a data point.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, I was so interested. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
And I was like, what does "Don't Vote" mean? And it was pretty much just like, don't vote if you're uneducated on the candidates, blah 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 blah.
Ooh,
But
I like
has those.
that.
He has those all over
I've seen them everywhere.
town, and like it's big. Yeah, they're huge.
It's a big
And you
QR
do
code.
it, like I scan it from my car, and then, you put 2 words on there that could mean 58 different things, and people are like, I need to figure out what that means, so they do it. But
It's like catchy enough, but it's like, that's funny.
yeah, and then I was like, who is it? And I like,
I don't think he's a great candidate because he's a little out there.
yeah, for sure.
But he is raw Republican.
Yep,
Idaho
yep.
boy. I think he's been arrested like 7 times or something like
Yeah,
that.
dude, he's always trying to stir up some drama. Yeah, no, I think, and dude, it just comes down to like Gary's principles. It's pretty much just like keep it simple, and like even if you think this is a crazy idea, like just do it. Like who do you need to listen to?
Right.
That's the thing in marketing is like you need to be a rebel in the industry to succeed.
Yep.
That's what Against does really well. A marketing agency here locally. How's the live looking?
It's looking good. I'm going to wave at everybody real quick.
They do it really well. They're a marketing agency for Rebel Brands, so that's kind of their like brand, and they do a super good job. They have young people in there, fresh ideas. They do a great internship every year with BSU student, or I mean, just any college students. I don't know. They've just done a really good job as a marketing agency that targets Rebel brands, which
Right.
helps you succeed if you're different and are testing the trends. And
Yeah, because like testing things is so important too in the marketing world because you have to know.
I still
And
test.
it just all goes back to data, you know? It's like what's working, what isn't working. Let's push this more because it is working versus not. Like recently, I feel like on social media doing like green screen thoughts. Like, hey, if you're looking to get started on social media and building a personal brand, do a green screen.
The
It's a
easiest piece of content you'll
cake.
ever make.
Yes.
And it does pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary's doing them every day now.
Is he doing it daily? Yeah.
Probably. I don't
Yeah.
see his content sometimes because he posts so much of it, but
Yeah. I was having a brain fart. It's one of those days. You need
it's
some caffeine, bro.
it is one
Where's
of
your
those days.
Zoa?
I know I need to grab his. I might go say hi to Marshall at Slow
I don't think he's working today. There's a new employee over there, by the way. She's nice.
with the dark hair.
No, blonde hair. I got some more baristas, which is good because they've been busy as hell recently.
Because I know the like top 3 employees that are usually there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Health and wellness. What's your like regimen? I feel like you've been lifting weights. He walked around like you had to pull up your ass today when you walked into the office.
Yeah, it looks like I sat on my tripod on accident.
Whoops.
No, yeah, I've been back in the regimen. I just kind of got to a point where I was like, I need to kick it into gear. Like, we're doing quick bites. Like, I'm starting something. I need as much motivation and passion as I can get. And it just all plays hand in hand together, in my opinion. So, like, when I'm feeling good, looking good, I'm working good, I'm motivated, I don't know. It just all plays a role. And I was actually talking to my mom yesterday, and I was like, she's like, yeah, because you're just back in the gym, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I feel like you're still really good, like when you're not in the gym, like staying happy and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I mean, yeah, but it's a lot easier when I'm in the gym.
Right.
Also, the way my
I think
mind,
there's something to routine when it comes to that.
for
You
sure.
know, there's a sense of accomplishment when you stick to that routine and like you decide, okay, I am going to do this and you do it.
Yeah, because like my mind wanders terribly. So it's like if I am not like filling my time for the most part, I'm just like,
What am I doing?
it's just wasting my brain power on stupid thoughts and just stuff that doesn't matter. So when I'm in the gym talking to Jake or, while I'm working out and like come to the office, get to work, we do a podcast, we powwow, whatever. It's just like keeps my brain focused as well.
Fresh, focused, and
One
fierce.
thing that I struggle with that I know I want to be a lot better is sleep. In high school, I had a great sleep schedule. Granted, I was single and lived with my parents and had nothing to worry about. But like I would go to bed at like 9:30, wake up at like 6, and it was
Yep.
like I felt great
Yep.
because it was that every day, and it was solid sleep. Nothing about like no dog, like nothing bothering me.
Dogs will do that to you.
Yeah, so it's
Wait till you have kids.
yeah. I've heard kids are easier personally.
What is sleep?
Yeah, I know, seriously. Yeah, is really important to me. Also, like we were talking about, vitamin D. We're pretty deficient in the Pacific Northwest. Most people in the United States are even.
Ooh, Liver King action. Do you sun your balls?
Do I what?
Sun your balls.
Oh, no.
Okay. Got to get that vitamin D somehow.
I don't sun my balls. I am a big advocate for vitamin D though.
Sorry.
Like when even if it's in the winter, like you just have to up the time you're in the sun. So like summer you could be out there for 10 minutes. Winter it's like all right, 30 minutes.
Have you ever heard of a happy light before?
Yes. Might get one of those. I don't know.
I think we need one for the office.
We have a pretty bright office.
We do, but I
but
don't know if it's kicking off vitamin D.
yeah, true. Does it kick out actual vitamin? How does that
I
work?
think the level of light is making your body like
More receptive or something?
something like that.
Yeah, interesting.
We're not health scientists over here.
Because
I like to think we are.
I notice a difference definitely when I get like vitamin D. Like during the summer, I'm just like very content
Thriving.
and feel great. Like I feel great mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I hate the winter. I have the wintertime blues. Like I'm not depressed, but I'm just like,
You know what I think it is like the sunlight. Like I hate like time falls back, so it's gonna be
Sunday.
dark till like 9, right?
in the morning. Well,
yeah,
like
in the mornings.
so 8 o'clock now will be 7 o'clock. So it'll be lighter earlier.
Oh, it'll be lighter earlier, but
darker
still.
earlier.
Yep. Yeah.
I hope they passed the no more
I
time.
thought they passed it.
Well, they did.
but
It hasn't gotten like.
It won't go into effect till November of next year. So I thought it got all signed, but it won't fall into effect until the last one, November in 2023.
The next fallback.
Yes, is the last.
We just won't fall back. Okay.
Fall back.
I'm excited because it jacks with me, and I just hate. Like I don't know, just keep it the same. We're not farmers anymore, so.
I know that's what it was all about.
But yeah,
Daylight saving time ends. Yeah, I don't know if they officially approved it or not. I heard it was like done. Maybe
Yeah.
not.
it all works together, but like a body in motion stays in motion,
Yes.
So that's kind of my philosophy growing older. Like, I don't ever want to stop working out or moving because then it's like you just get unhealthy
Oh,
quickly.
yeah, for sure.
And like, I'm very youthful, but like when I get there one day,
Riley's knees aren't.
my knees are actually great.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
squatting, running,
Good.
feeling great.
How is the knee feeling, by the way?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Riley got
Doesn't.
it cleaned out about 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, it doesn't snap, crackle, pop anymore.
Jeez,
So
I need to do that to my ankles, dude. I got the
Really?
worst ankles.
yeah,
Sounds like Rice Krispies coming down the stairs.
yeah. Now I like walk up the stairs and I listen and it's quiet. I'm like, wow, this is
Wow,
awesome.
magical.
But yeah, super good. What do you want to? Do you want to touch on like
No, this is interesting.
anything?
No, good.
I'm so tired.
Riley needs to wake the fuck up.
Today's one of those days where it's just like,
Well, I've been wearing my. So you said sleep. I've been wearing this Whoop band.
mm,
I'm a big proponent of sleep because I don't get any of it having kids now. I actually get great sleep the last year of my life because my second daughter is like the best sleeper ever.
Taz.
Yes. And with us having a baby here in like 2 months, I'm like, oh gosh, I got to hang on for dear life. But I love wearing the Whoop band because what it does is it allows me to understand sleep cycles and whatnot. And then it also allows me to, so I catch myself sometimes where like last night, like I got great sleep. Like I did a 94% sleep and I hardly ever get above 90 usually. So like, I guess
That's
I
good.
slept great last night. But if I check that, then I feel like, okay, then I need to make sure like I have tons of energy today. So usually I'll like do a week and then I'll look back on it and be like, okay, maybe that's why I felt crappy. Or if like I know I got really shitty sleep the night before and check it and it's shitty, then it's like, okay, I can just, maybe I don't work out today because my body didn't recover well enough because all working out is ripping and tearing, you
Yeah.
know, and rebuilding.
What'd
and
you
if
say?
you're,
Tearing and repairing yesterday.
yeah, tearing and repairing
Yeah. I didn't take a cold shower this morning.
because of me.
Yeah.
Ah, Riley,
Lukewarm.
you should have taken a cold one because you got sore muscles.
Yeah, but you just said it doesn't allow you to like.
So I heard this on a podcast a couple days ago, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Is everybody doing these like cold plunges right after a workout? Cold plunges is to like reduce inflammation. You know, the simplicity of like ice and cold is to reduce inflammation. When you exercise and work and tear your muscles, let's just use the example. Okay, a muscle tears, it's going to use blood and heat to repair that muscle efficiently. That's what being sore is. That's what blood flow is for. And so if you're doing that right after you work out, you're not giving your body, from my understanding, the time to process. You know, in listening to this podcast, it made a lot of sense that if you are going to do cold in therapy and plunging to reduce inflammation, do it 4 to 5 hours after like a heavy weight training session. Don't do it immediately after because you're kind of delaying that process of what your body's used to doing to repair it, you know?
Makes
And I
sense.
don't know too much protein synthesis, all that stuff, but I feel, you know, maybe doing a sauna after you work out or a steam room
Yeah.
will help aid that blood flow.
What if I do that then a cold shower?
I don't know.
But
I don't know. It's interesting.
Another big thing that I like about cold showers is it's a lot better for your skin and hair and everything.
Yes.
'Cause
And it
just
wakes you up.
the heat is terrible.
That's why you're fucking drowsy today. You didn't take a cold shower.
That may be it. Although I was more tired than usual
Dunk your head under the
before they
sink.
work out. So
Yeah.
yeah. That was a good pod.
That was a good pod.
We have lots of random content in there, but I think people will enjoy it. They
Yeah.
won't get bored. Some new stuff.
Twists and turns and curves.
Yep. So we'll film a couple next week too.
Let's do it.
We'll get
We're going to have some good shit for you guys next week with like new Fed interest rates dropping today and tomorrow. So we'll catch you next week.